Day 2, Monday. Camp Grit. Jack's day. Jack is set to get on the bus at 8:15 a.m. He sits all the way at the back, as if he wants to blend into the bus. Max and Cliff are the last to get on the bus. Max sits in the front with Cliff. Jack ducks down as much as he can, so that they don't spot him in the back of the bus. At last, we're out of the inn and on our way to camp. Todd must be at camp by now, thinks Jack. It is a quick trip from the inn to Camp Grit. When the bus gets there, Todd is by the van with his mom. Jack jumps off the bus and runs to Todd. "Hey, Mrs. Rand," says Jack. "Did you miss me?" says Todd with a grin. "Not that much," Jack grins back. Jack and Todd pick up their bags. As Todd's mom sets off, a small black cat sprints by Todd. Jack jumps and drops his bag. He cannot stand black cats. When Jack was 6, a black cat spit on his best jacket and ruined it. From then on, black cats are on Jack's black list. "You and black cat," says Todd. "But this is such a small cat, Jack." "Small black cats are still black cats. They are bad luck. Just hang on. It may not be just yet, but they will bring all the bad luck. This camp will not end well," Jack says to Todd. "Oh, stop it," kids Todd. "Bring, bring, bring." Mr. Gibb rings the camp bell to bring all the kids next to him. "Oh, that is Mr. Gibb. Let us run. Quick." Jack grabs Todd's hand. They pick a spot next to Mr. Gibb. Glad to have you all at Camp Grit," says Mr. Gibbs. "Hi, Mr. Gibbs," the kids yell. "Fact 1. No tablets or calls for the rest of camp," says Mr. Gibbs. "All tablets must be off until the end of camp." All the kids are sad, but not Jack. He does not have a tablet or a thing to send text with. He is glad not to be left out. Fact 2. You have to have a job to do at camp. The list of tasks are in your huts, and I trust you will be able to check out the list by the end of the day, says Mr. Gibbs. This is not a day camp. You will be in a club for this day. You will stay in the huts with your kids in your club. We have 10 clubs in the camp. There are 6 in a club. When I call you, pick up your bags, go to your huts to drop them off. You can unpack if you want, then grab lunch. Be quick, or there might not be much left to snack on, Mr. Gibb adds. Then he calls the clubs. Club Sun, Scott King, Max Finn, Bobby Frank, Ted Hill, Cliff Buck. Not Club Sun, not for me, thinks Jack. And Jack Mills, adds Mr. Gibbs. How can this be, thinks Jack. He is sad to be stuck with Max and Cliff, and not be with Todd. Todd ends up in Club Run. Jack asks Mr. Gibbs if he can stay with Todd in Club Run's hut. But no luck. Mr. Gibbs will not let him. Jack has to stay with Club Sun until the end of camp. This is no fun, he grunts. Jack looks at Max. Max nags that he got no help with his bags. We just got to camp, Jack thinks. And Max nags that he has to pick up his bags. No shock there. That's just how Max is. Nag, nag, nag. Jack picks up his backpack. He is fast to the hut so he doesn't have to help Max. Jack likes the hut. It is small and has bunk beds. It is a bit hot, but not that bad. Max will not last a day in this hut, he thinks with a big grin. He casts his bag on the bed, and on top of Ted's and next to Scott's and Bob's. This way, Max and Cliff will not be in the beds next to Jack. Max still nags as he gets into the hut. This time he says he does not like the hut. His mom cannot pay for a big hut. Is that why we stay in such a small shed, he adds. Jack acts like he does not get what Max says, but he does. He cannot stand how Max, when he brags about how rich he is. Max just does not stop. Then he looks at Jack and adds, "This hut stinks. It smells like fish. Yuck." Todd is quick to visit Jack's hut. He thinks Jack must be sad to be in Club Sun with Max. Todd gets this. He does not like Max at all. Not like he did in the past. I'm on eggshells when I'm with Max. He's such a snob. I do not know what to be at this camp. I do not want to be at this camp, Jack tells Todd. Do not let him get to you. We will have a lot of fun. You will not be in the hut with him that much. We will be out all day, Todd tells Jack. Let us go to lunch and have fun. We will spend the rest of the day out of Max's grasp. And that's just what they do. At bedtime, Jack checks the job list. Jack Mills set up cabin 101 and cabin 201 or 102 by 10 a.m. for the rock band gig prep. Not bad, he thinks. He sets his drumsticks next to his cap. He is set for the big day. Max's day. Sun is up, Max yells to Cliff, who is still in bed. Stop it, Max. I do not want to get out of bed yet. What time is it? Asks Cliff. The time to get up and go to the bus stop, Max says. Get up, Cliff. Just do as I tell you. Just tell me. What time is it? Asks Cliff. It's 8:15, says Max. What? 8:15? I do not have time to go for a run. I must be quick. Yes, you must, hums Max. Yes, you must. Cliff thinks Max is his best pal, but Max acts as if Cliff is more of a big fan than a best pal. Cliff likes to go by what Max says all the time. Max and Cliff get to the bus stop just in time. Max grabs a spot in the front. Cliff sits next to him. Max spots Jack on the bus. There's Jack. I'm glad he's at the back of the bus and out of my way. Look at him. He's such a mess. When they get to the camp, Todd stands by his mom's van. Max and Todd have a lot of fun in that van when they were 6. They were best pals back then, but that is the past. Yet, Max still feels sad to miss Todd so much. All the kids get off the bus. A small black cat runs in front of Todd's mom's van. Jack jumps when the cat runs by him. He can tell that Jack still panics if a black cat is by him. Jack and black cats, thinks Max. The camp bell rings. All the kids run to Miss Gibbs. Fact 1. No tablet or calls for the rest of camp, tells Miss Gibbs. No texts? Ted asks in shock. No iPads or iPods? Max and Cliff wish to have Ted in their group. He's so much fun. No calls, no texts, no tablets. Got it, Ted? Grins Mr. Gibbs. Max does not like this one bit. Fact 2. You have a job to do at camp. The list of tasks are in your huts. I trust you will check out the list by the end of the day, says Mr. Gibbs. You will be in a club. You have 10 clubs in the camp. There are 6 in a club. Mr. Gibbs tells the kids. You will stay in the huts with the kids in your group. Then he picks the camp clubs. Max is in Club Sun. So is Cliff. They're glad not to be split up. They clap as they jump. But Jack is in that hut as well. It's time to go to the huts. But how? Max has 6 bags. He has to bring all of them to the hut. This will be a big job. All of the kids have a lot of bags to bring. But all but Jack. Jack has a backpack and not a thing in his hands. But he does not want to help Max. He picks up his bag fast and he's off to the hut. Max gets upset with Jack. Who does he think he is? Max grunts. I do not need Jack's help. But Max does need help. There is no camp staff to bring my bags to the hut, he nags. Camp Grit is a self-help camp, Max, snaps Mr. Gibbs. Get your bags. Chop chop. Max grabs his bags, but he cannot get it all. He drags half the bag to the hut. He is upset that he has to go back and pick up the rest. Max is last to the hut. He checks it out. Bunk beds, he yelps. The last bed is up top. It has a big lump. It is not snug at all. Max does not like that hut one bit. This is not a hut. It is a small shed. Just a step up from a tent. There must be a mix-up. My dad did not spend this much cash for me to stay in this shed, he says. He is still mad at Jack. He wants him to be sad. He looks at Jack and says, his mom cannot pay for a big hut. Is that why we're in such a small shed? Then he adds, this hut stinks. It smells like a bad fish. Yuck. And it is so hot. Is there any AC in this unit? Is it on? Stop it, Max. Mr. Gibbs cuts in. He is not glad that Max says such things. Max does not check the task list. He does not want a job. Cliff looks at the list. Max, will you check your job? He asks. Max shrugs. What's your job? Rock band gig trash pickup. I have to do it the next day, says Cliff. What's Jack's job? Max asks. Jack's? Well, he has to set up cabin 101 and cabin 102 by 10 a.m. for the rock band gig prep. Cliff checks Max's task and says, the day of the contest will be hectic for you. Is it my job? Asks Max. What is it? Champ Day setup, Cliff tells him. That is a big job. Max thinks Champ Day setup is not bad at all. He's glad he does not have to pick up the trash. Let us get out of this shed and have fun, he tells Cliff. Max and Cliff run out of the hut. They have lunch and spend the rest of the day by the clay stand. Max crafts a clay pup and a cat. He thinks his mom and dad would like the clay pup. Cliff crafts a mug for his dad and a pot for his mom. The day ends fast with no big mess.